Matchups today. BYU falling outside the top 25 while Cincinnati surging, trying to get into the double on the year. It's senior night for the Bearcats. Miller was honored prior to the game. Saunders was averaging 18 points per game before going down 4 games ago. And they get a little floater.
This team, they have to have some of these role players contribute a little bit more.
Baba Miller knocks down to 3. Cincinnati.
And looking at the BYU coaching staff, like Baba Miller's not a great three-point shooter. He's only made 9 on the year, but I don't think they want to lead.
Donald's All-American and potential #1 overall pick in the NBA draft. Oh, Miller's going to try it again. Came up short this time.
And there you see the
of DeBonsa, Robert Wright, and Richie Saunders, but with Saunders out there looking for that third scorer. Adim Boot missing the 3. Kennard Davis Jr., the transfer from Southern Illinois. And off to Robert Wright III, who came over from Baylor, and his making and shot selection as the year has gone on. J.D. Thomas. Nice soft touch.
We're not going to let him play pick and roll tonight. And then, but here's the part, and then you got to rotate and scramble out of it. And they get it to one of their best shooters in the corner. And then that makes it so much easier for the perimeter players to get open looks and share the basketball. Great ATO.
He gets the steal. It's a 7-0 run for Cincinnati. Looking for more. Thomas, step back.
BYU's known for. They go zone on baseline out of bounds, a little 2-3. That's why they were able to get the lob on the last possession.
Jizzle James at the free throw line. That traded here early.
Yeah, one thing with AJ is he's seen every defense, okay, from the best conference in the league. And that's going to be a push-off.
Yep. 3. His last 6 games, 6 for 10, and then 1 for 1 here tonight as he converts. 12-0 run for Cincinnati. BYU scoreless for 3.5 minutes plus. Robert Wright trying to get some space.
Fender came and helped. You have to be ready to let that go.
10 on the shot clock for Wright. Missed it wide right. Cincinnati not letting BYU inside the arc, and a turnover. Jizzle James, the steal. Jizzle James, the finish. Time this year, but they do still have arguably the best player in the country, A.J. DeBonsa, and he gets DeBonsa now with 6 points. It was the largest lead of the game for Cincinnati. Saved from going out of bounds into the hand. NCAA tournament in his tenure.
Tillery's a guy that the staff.
Cats who are now up by 14. DeBonsa the focal point for the BYU offense. Skip pass, Kostic rattles in the 3.
That was a great job by DeBonsa just reading the defense on that possession.
Here's Tillery.
Defenses, and that really helps his vision.
Zone defense out of bounds. We talked about that earlier. BYU flexes into that, but nobody's.
And for Cincinnati, it's him.
Cincinnati shooting over 40% from 3 in their last 5 games. Cada on the bucket quiets the crowd for the moment. 8.5 left to go here in the first period. High arcing 3 from Davis, knocked into the hand. Chom for 3. Why not? Just
with Cincinnati, obviously the importance of, getting maybe a quad 1 win tonight at home.
Yeah.
They're trying to
a road win against Kansas. A win here tonight against BYU would go a long way. Joe Lenardi currently
Bonsa in the game. Where do they find the offense from?
Right now, nowhere. Turnover number 7, Jizzle James. And the search for that third scorer continues, because right now
a back cut.
Abdullah Ahmed back to the basket. Miller lowers the shoulder. Points, 3 turnovers on 3 of 7 shooting. And Harris knocks it loose from behind. Sincere Harris route for BYU. DeBonsa has struggled to get anything going. Miller fading away.
Because Ahmed did a good job of moving his feet and playing defense without fouling.
Now Robert Wright III off. Jizzle James fading away on the baseline so far. That's turnover number 9 on BYU. Day Thomas. Celestine in the corner.
Everything's a struggle in the half court.
Bonsa.
There it is.
Mustafa Cham, who's been so good for this Cincinnati team as of late. Celestine.
So if you're BYU right now, as bad as you've played here in the first half, you just want to get this maybe into single digits by halftime.
Holding opponents to just 67 points per game on the year. Celestine drops it off. Miller, lob inside. Cham couldn't
Be playing out of the double team in the post.
Bonsa flying in for the offensive rebound. Give Kostic another chance. That's for the offensive board. Bonsa to the rim. Left it.
He's felt that way going to the basket.
Deshaun Tillery with a head of steam. Off the glass and in.
They list him at 6'1", but I don't know.
Kostic straight away. Rattles it. 7 to shoot. Kostic spots up. Hit the front of the rim.
Right, should get this basketball. Fastest guy with the ball for BYU after these free throws. To go length of the floor. We've seen that multiple times throughout college basketball this season.
Miscommunication. I think Cham was expecting a pass closer to the rim. Here's Wright for 3. Good start for BYU.
And that's why Kevin Young
Able to overtake the Mountaineers. And ended up losing 79-71. Bonsa a couple weeks ago, and that's what has gotten the ire of the Cincinnati Bearcat fans over the course of this year, as they have dropped a lot of winnable games. A game ago against Oklahoma State knocks down the triple here in the second half. Here is a 40% three-point shooter on the year. He was 7 for 11 from 3 in the win against Oklahoma State. Every shot
throughout this season for this team, and he's just like the closest thing to a pro mentality that they
throw line.
So DeBonsa, I've had BYU 3 or 4 times this year, being at BYU, and he said actually it's a class that he takes. It's a religion class called the Book of Mormon, and it's for students of all, like, dove into the community and the culture in Provo. Loves the place. His family has moved there. His sister's in high school.
To their screens, or maybe even have scouts in attendance here watching A.J. Bonsa.
I think not only DeBonsa, but Baba Miller. He's definitely on the radar.
And kick opportunities.
Yeah, well, he's so versatile on the offensive end because of his passing ability.
Yep. Okay,
he can see over the deep, so you're a little bit afraid to help.
Bonsa calling for it. Celestine guarding him. Kostic swatted. Here, an interconference transfer, and it was the big transfer of the year was him and Baba Miller. This big front, taking off like a rocket.
Yeah, it's almost, he's kind of figured out who he is as a player. Okay, playing inside and then out, can shoot the three.
Can't leave Robert Wright unattended down in the post. So right to the free throw line. Talk about a guy, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists per game for the Baylor transfer, shooting 43% from 3. Miller backing down Bonsa, sweeps it across to Mustafa.
Okay, Kansas State beats West Virginia without P.J. Haggerty. West Virginia's fighting for their NCAA tournament life. Excellent drive and kick right there.
Bonsa
in Provo. So every night is such a battle in this league.
Celestine step back, 2-pointer for Jalen Celestine. Every win important down the stretch, especially for Cincinnati. Kostic.
Good play.
Miller on Bonsa again. Miller has not shied away. Jizzle James, elbow J. Very careful with the basketball. Thomas, he'll take a mid-range jumper.
BYU's gone small.
Bonsa just can't buy a bucket. Here's Baba. Alvin now shooting 47% from the floor. J.D. Thomas, step back three.
That I'll never forget, and I was lucky enough to play for the great Lute Olson the previous three. So to go out on that high note with my teammates Bennett Davison, Donnell Harris.
Miller staying with DiBonsa. DiBonsa going
Able to pivot like that and get away from a 6'11" defender and rise up in the paint.
Jizzle James. Nearing the midway point of half number 2. Here's Keyshawn Tillery, and again, nobody stepping
you on Saturday. You win that one, you give yourself another chance to boost your resume. And so I think for them, if they can they're going to be right there on Selection Sunday.
No doubt about it. Robert Wright weaving through traffic after the Mustafa Cham bucket on the other double. In his last 4 games.
This is a young man.
And the NBA continue to develop and invest their capital in programs in Africa. For Russ missing. Under 8 minutes to go. 19-point advantage for Cincinnati. Cham gets the lob. Cham! The throwdown! Cham 14 and 8. DiBonsa for 3. It's DiBonsa. Tillery, 6 to shoot. Head fake inside, Celestine.
Tillery's been.
Sincere Harris turns the corner. Largest lead of the game for the Bearcats. Mustafa Cham again.
You know, I talked to Coach Wes Miller at shoot-around today, and when you look at that balance, he's in each other, and that's been the big difference, because you got to remember, Jizzle James, he wasn't with this team to start this.
Nothing?
Not one thing.
That's disappointing.
Not like not a T-shirt,
not a medal,
not
one
a pit. He can shoot the basketball, his size, and when you're drafting a guy, you're drafting the whole thing, not just like tremendous young man. He has he had a 4.0 GPA. All in like why he's injured, why he's cramping up, why he had hamstring stuff, why he's sitting out games. Obviously there was in the draft, but all super talented. All I think will be all-stars at some point in their NBA careers.
In the conversation for best basketball conference in the country, the depth of the conference, how good even the middle teams in the Big 12 are, is walk and get some marquee wins.
Absolutely.
And then the selection committee has to make a tough decision. A rare turnover for Cincinnati.
But Jizzle James chose the hardwood over the helmet.
Oh my! Wright misses everything. Cada and 1. 7th game of the year that Derbyshire's appeared in. And Harris, 90-plus points in 4 of their last 7 games. The offense humming for Cincinnati.